So they said that a ex-cop bragged on social media about participating in the violent attempted coup on January the 6th and was turned in by authorities from his own former police department. Now, they said that 58-year-old Michael Shane Daughtry, who described by Pelham, Mayor James Eubanks to local station WCTV, as a briefly tenured member, of the small town's police force before being fired over social media issues last year, claimed he was one of the first ones over the fence when the mob of Trump terrorists stormed the Capitol building earlier this month. So he posted about his participation with the violent mob on Facebook. He told fellow officers during a recorded phone call that he made it all the way to the door of the Capitol before officers began firing rubber bullets and forcing him and others rioters away. He said the officers on the phone alerted the FBI, turned him in about his participation, everything. They did a own investigation, and January 15th, he was charged with federally with a violation of entering a restricted building or grounds. And guess what? It's just a misdemeanor. No felonies, but black folks, we get felonies for any little thing is a felony. Why they want to charge black folks with felonies? Because it takes away your voting rights and your gun ownership rights. But when he do it, storming the Capitol, he admitting he did it, he just gets a misdemeanor, a federal misdemeanor. Now, he had to give up his guns to the U.S. Marshal Service while, he was, dealing with the court, situation. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing with these people. We had on the live stream, we had covered about they're debating not charging them, but then the charge they are getting is misdemeanors. No sedition charges, none of that. Okay, none of it. Even they're admitting this is what we're going to do, right? They still don't get sedition charges. This is why these people love white supremacy, because it is nowhere else in the world that you can go and do the things that they are doing in this country and get away with it. Other countries would not put up with that crap from nobody. They would not put up with it whatsoever, except in this one. And you have to understand the ancestors of these people wasn't the best of Europe. You have to understand that. Do your research. They was the worst of the worst that came over here, and they did not get nowhere away from their original ancestors, the things that they like to do. See, in this country, being a Mzungu is immunity of law. When you go storm a Capitol and attempt a coup, you usually get charged with a misdemeanor. Black folks just have some signs that say Black Lives Matter, get shot with rubber bullets, tear gas, get beat up, felonies, all kind of other things that happens to black folk. And we just need to keep pointing out these white supremacists, because that's what he is. These white supremacists getting a slap on the wrist, which emboldens them. We don't hear Biden talking about trying to come up with some laws to make sure to go tougher against white supremacists. We ain't heard anything about it. We ain't heard the Democrats are in control now. They can go after white supremacy if they want to, but if anybody understands something, left wing, right wing is both the same white supremacist bird. They don't really want to divide with the white supremacists. They don't. This is why you see them. Well, we don't know. We want to tie up the court system. You don't want to tie it up because that's your brethren. You don't want to see your brethren in jail. You want to leave the jails for the Negro. That's what you want to do. Well, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation, with this white supremacist getting a slap on the wrist, even though he admitted he was over there. You imagine that? If black people are admitting everything they did, you being turned in, you think black folks would be getting misdemeanor charges? Oh, if it was black folks, or number one, a lot of them been shot dead, that's for sure. But definitely would have had some freaking sedition charges, terrorism charges, everything you could think of charges on them. That's why these people do what they do, and they're going to go do something worse because you didn't make an example out of them.